Hey, love bugs. Welcome to Love Grind. I'm Ebony, your host, and I'm so glad that you joined me tonight. If this is your first time, we are a podcast about love addiction and codependency, how to break free and start healthy, productive relationships. Tonight, we're going to go over toxic. Who, me? Couldn't be. There's so many traits that are toxic, and we're going to talk about those tonight. Make sure you're getting on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of our social platforms, and giving me a thumbs up and liking and subscribing. Definitely commenting. I would love to hear from you. Make sure you're getting on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're there, and tune in, okay? Let's get right into it, love bugs. Toxic? Who, me? Couldn't be. Tonight, we're going to dive deep into toxic traits we might be unaware of. So let's take a deep look within tonight and start to fix what could be holding us back from the true love we seek. We spend a lot of time and energy trying to pinpoint the toxic people in our lives. But how often do we look inwards during our search? Not very often. I have the audacity to think I have all of my shit together whenever I'm telling somebody else what their problem is. Totally dysfunctional. The truth is, love bugs, there are times when even the best of us exhibit toxic behaviors or patterns without realizing it. Of course, there's a difference between being toxic and acting toxic. The first is when it's ingrained into our personality and we actively enjoy hurting others. The second corresponds to aspects of our behaviors. Sometimes without knowing it, these toxic behaviors can take us over. The good news is, with a little self-reflection and asking for feedback from others, we can become aware of these habits and eradicate them so we can become better people. I remember growing up, my sister used to ask us how she looked, and if we said anything but great, she would get the biggest attitude. So remember, during this process, you have to take a little constructive advice from people, and that's okay, because we're trying to fix ourselves. As long as it's not too overboard, we can take it. Here are a few of the most common behaviors that even good people can develop that might actually be hurting those around them, as well as how to change course for the better. Number 1, taking everything personally. People are toxic to be around when they believe that everything that happens in life is a direct assault on them or in some way all about them. The reality is that what people say and do to you is much more about them than you. People's reactions to you are about their filters and their perspectives, wounds, and experiences. Whether people think you're amazing or believe you're the worst, again, it's more about them. I'm not saying we should be narcissists and ignore all feedback. I'm saying that so much hurt, disappointment, and sadness in our lives comes from our taking things personally, when it's far more productive and healthy to let go of others' good or bad opinion of you, and to operate with your own heart, your own intuition, and wisdom as your guide. So yes, don't take anything personally. Used to be such a hard thing for me. I'm like, you're looking at me, you're talking to me, how can I take this anything but personally? But a lot of the times people have so many things on their mind. So again, you will save yourself a lot of stress and wrinkles if you just throw that off your shoulder. Number 2, obsessing about negative thoughts. It's very hard to be around people, love bugs, who can't or won't let go of negativity. When they dwell on and speak insistently about the terrible things that can happen and have happened, the slights they've suffered, and the unfairness of life, these people stubbornly refuse to see the positive side of life and the positive lessons from what's transpiring. Pessimism is one thing, but remaining perpetually locked in negative thoughts is another. Only seeing the negative and operating from a view that everything is negative and against you is a skewed way of thinking and living. And you can change that. You definitely can. Number 3, treating yourself like a victim. Another toxic behavior is nonstop complaining that fuels your sense of victimization. Believing you're a victim, that you have no power to exert and no influence on the direction of your life is a toxic stance that keeps you stuck and small. People who've suffered terrible trauma in their lives but found the courage to turn it all around, I know that we have access to far more power, authority, and influence over our lives than we initially believed. When you stop whining and refuse to see yourself as a hapless victim of fate, chance, or discrimination, then you'll find that you are more powerful than you realized, but only if you choose to accept that reality. That's right, I used to play the woman card or the race card or the single mother card all the time, and really most of the time, not even half, but most, wasn't even like that. It had something to do with who I was being, about my reputation. So you have to make sure you're looking inward and being self-aware, okay? Number 3, cruelty. Lacking in empathy or putting yourself in others' shoes. One of the most toxic and damaging behaviors, guys, is cruelty. It stems from a total lack of empathy, concern, or compassion for others. We see it every day online and in the media. People being devastatingly cruel and destructive to others just because they can. They tear people down online, but in a cowardly way, as a weapon. Cruelty, backstabbing, and ripping someone to shreds is toxic, and it hurts you as well as your target. Makes you bitter. I had a powerful learning experience about a couple of years ago. I came into the house in a nasty mood, you guys, and shared a mean sniping comment to my boyfriend about the way a neighbor was parenting her child through one of his problem phases, terrible tooth, stuff like that. In less than 24 hours, that very same issue the parent was dealing with came home to roost in my house with my nephew. It was as if the universe sent me the message that, if you want to be cruel and demeaning about someone, we'll give you the same experience you've judged so negatively, so you can learn some compassion. And I did. I really did. If you find yourself backstabbing and tearing someone else down, stop in your tracks, dig deep, and find compassion in your heart, and realize that we're all the same. We're all going through this human experience. We're all very insecure sometimes, afraid, or powerful, and just realize that you're not alone in most of the emotions that you're feeling. We're all here with you. Number 4, excessive reactivity. An inability to manage your emotions is toxic to everyone around you. We all know these people, men and women who explode over the smallest hiccup or problem, yelling at the bank teller for the long line, screaming at your assistant for the PowerPoint error he made, or losing it with your child for spilling milk on the floor. If you find that you're overly reactive, losing it at every turn, you need some outside assistance to help you gain control over your emotions and understand what's at the root of your emotionality. There's more to it than appears on the surface. An outside perspective and a new kind of support is critical. I always let you guys know that getting therapy is absolutely okay. If you think that those feelings, which they probably are coming from something deeper, some trauma that you suffered, or an inability to learn how to express those emotions the correct way, go seek some help. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Number 5, needing constant validation. People who constantly strive for validation and self-esteem by obsessing about achieving outward measures of success are exhausting to be around. Those men and women who get caught up in the need to prove their worth over and over and constantly want to win over their colleagues or peers are toxic and draining. Overly attaching to how things have to look and be rather than going with life in a more flexible, easy manner can wear you out and bring everyone else around you down. There is a bigger picture to your life, and it's not about what you achieve or fail at today. It's about the journey, the process, the path, what you're learning and applying, how you're helping others, and the growing process you allow yourself to engage in. Stop stressing, love bugs, over the particular outcomes like, I need a girlfriend or a boyfriend right now, or my house has to be bigger and more beautiful than my neighbor's. A desperate need to prove your dominance or value and build your self-esteem through outer measures of success is sadly apparent to everyone but you, and it's pushing away the very happy outcomes we're longing for. As you start to detox, take pride in your growth. We're fundamentally copycats. We learn behaviors by modeling others, and sometimes we have the wrong role models. Damn right. And at other times, we run into a bad spat in life, get jaded, and see the world through a pessimistic lens. And so our toxic behaviors grow. But having them in one chapter of our lives doesn't mean we're condemned to them forever. Not at all. Instead, pinpointing the root and committing to personal growth can help us find our old selves again, or create a new self that is stronger And how refreshing is that to know that you can grow away from these behaviors, having integrated the wisdom of a difficult chapter in our lives. And just because we've had some behaviors isn't cause for shame. Rather, knowing that we're transcended them is actually cause for pride. Understanding our own toxic behaviors develops empathy for why we do the things we do, hones our self-awareness, that's a big thing we always talk about here on Love Grind, and helps us to become better people. Acknowledgement is the first step down that journey. I'd love to hear some of your toxic traits. Hang on, all right? Let's build a bridge of pride instead of shame. We all have toxic behaviors, okay? You're definitely not alone. I hope you learned a thing or two tonight, love bugs. I know I have a couple fixes to attend to myself, with empathy, of course. Stay kind, and until next time, I'm out.